स्वाध्याय टीवी. डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब आंबेडकर ओपन युनिव्हर्सिटी.
Namaste dear students, I Dr. HIMANSHU Patel welcome you from the Chaitanya studio of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. We are in lecture series on Java programming. Before we start, let us recall what we have learned in last session. In last session, we have learned Java program structure, main method and process of compile and executing Java program in detail. We have created Hello World application in NetBeans and we executed that Hello World application. In today's session, we will learn identifier and literal, data types, data type conversion and data type promotion. So, we starts with data type. We first discussed primitive data type, which are also known as a simple data type or elemental data type. Java supports 8 type of data type. They are shown on screen: byte, short, integer, long, character, float, double and boolean. We can group these data type into category integer, floating numbers, character and boolean. The first 4, which are bytes, short, integer and long, are called integer data type. Float and double are called floating point data type and character is used to store character and boolean is used to store value which is either true or false and it generally represents some conditional expression. The simple types represent single value and not complex object. They are similar to simple types found in C and C++, and why these are not represented as an object? The reason is that to improve performance, all these simple types are implemented to accept single value and not as object. On screen you can see the various data type and value they can take and with its size. So, first is a boolean as mentioned earlier, it indicating either true or false. Byte is used to store 8-bit integer value which is sign. Sign means positive and negative, both values are allowed. Then we have character data type. In other languages, character data type only requires 1 byte, but in case of Java it will require 2 bytes or 16 bit, and the character set it use is a Unicode, that is universal code, and the objective of universal code is to support international languages and regional languages also. So, it can represent all the human languages that is used internationally. Then we have double data type which is used to store floating point numbers and the size is a 64 bit and it is again signed data type. We have float data type. Double data type is used to store very huge number. Suppose your number is not that much big, you can also use float data type and it saves memory because it only occupies 32 bit while double occupies 64 bit. So, again it is a floating point number and sign, that means positive and negative are allowed. The next data type is integer. Long and short they can considered as a integer data or rounded numbers and their size is 32 bit, 64 bit and 16 bit respectively, and they can have value which is positive or negative. Now, remember character data type cannot have negative values. The next is a range of values they can accept. So, you can see on screen a long data type accepts very huge round number or integer value that you can see on the screen. Suppose your requirement is not that much big, you can have integer data type, but its range is little bit low than long, and we have short data type to store value. We can have byte data type which can have range -128 to 127, and you can see that double data type has a 64 bit. Now, this width is represented in bit, remember. So, 64 is a bit and 8 is the byte. So, double data type can support 4.9 into 10 raised to minus 324 to 1.8 into 10 raised to 308. So, it is a huge number that can store inside double data type, and float supports range 1.4 into 10 raised to minus 45 to 3.4 into 10 raised to 38. So, these are the value that numeric data type can accept. Next is a character data type. As I mentioned earlier, character data type is used to store characters and it use Unicode to represent character. Now, this is why, because it represent all the characters found in all human language, and that is why the character is of 16 bit instead of 8 bit, and the range of value that is from 0 to 65,536. So, generally it represent all the language that is used by people all around the world. Now, internally character is stored as a integer value. So, even you can add two character together or increment the value of character variable also. So, this is all about character data type. Now, sometimes we require character which are generally not printed on screen. Now, for example, new line, form feed, tab, etc. For that we can use character escape sequences. Normally single quotes and double quote has a special meaning. So, you cannot directly print single quotes or double quotes. To print them you have to follow it with slash. So, slash single inverted comma is used to print single quotes, and slash and double quotes is used to print double quotes. To print slash we have backslash which is repeated for 2 times, and slash r represent carry as written, slash n represent new line or line feed, and slash f represent form feed which is nothing but page length size skip. Slash t represent tab and slash b represent backspace. So, these are also known as a non printing character. So, you can represent these using a character data type. In program we can have method, variable, class name. So, we have to give it name. For example, in last lecture our class name was main and our method is main. So, all these are known as a identifier. Identifier are used to identify class name, method name and variable name. It may consist of uppercase, lowercase, numbers or the underscore and dollar sign characters or any combination of these. But what you have to remember is you can not start identifier names with digit, it should be start with character only. Now, again you have to remember is they must not be reserved words or keywords. Now, what is keyword? Integer, float, double, character, they have these name has a some special meaning. So, they are called reserved word or keyword in Java, and these identifier name should not be keyword or reserved word. And now, we take some examples of valid identifier names. So, on screen you can see that we have my where sum, C1, $test and I underscore m underscore OK. So, all these can be considered as a valid identifier, because they are consist of uppercase and lowercase character or number or dollar or underscore and nothing else, and they all are not reserved words, and they all are not starts with digit. Now, below it you can find some invalid variable names. For example, 2sum is not valid because it starts with digit. Average mark is not valid because it includes dash, which is not permitted in identifier name, and a/b is again not permitted because slash is not allowed. So, identifier is a programmer given name, and there are certain rules for identifier that we have discussed. Now, in program we need to supply some constant value. A constant value in Java is created by using literal representation of it. Now, on screen you can see certain examples of literal. For example, 99 is integer literal, 12.3 is a double literal, x in a single quotes is a character literal, and string literal are represented between double quotes, and boolean literal may have value true or false. So, next we see example of all types of literals, or that means literal value for all primitive types. So, as mentioned earlier, character value are specified in single quotes, integer, boolean may be false or true, and we can have double literal also. Now, the interesting point here is we can have octal value, we can store inside integer variable. So, on screen you can see integer, if you follow mouse pointer, integer 9 is equal to 0 1 1. So, 0, any number that starts with 0 is considered as a octal in Java, and here it represent decimal equivalent of 9. We can have hexadecimal value also. So, below it is a example of hexadecimal value. So, hexadecimal value starts with 0x and then hexadecimal number. So, in comment I mention decimal equivalent of these hexadecimal number, and we can also specify float literal using f at the end of literal, and long can be specified at the end of literal we have to write down L. So, this is how we can provide different types of literal in Java. Now, in any program you need to store some values for processing. So, variable is used to store values, and we can have any type of value that we have discussed may be stored inside these variables, and every variable has a scope which defines their visibility and lifetime. Now, what is a scope? So, suppose I define one variable inside main method, I cannot access these variable outside main method. So, this is a called scope. And what is lifetime? Lifetime means how many times variables remain present in memory. So, we discussed that Java provides automatic garbage collection. So, once variable is out of scope, its lifetime is also over, but variable defined inside main method remains entire program life, because main is a method from where Java program execution begins and it ends in main also. So, we can have scope which is represented by blocks in Java. And what is block? Block is nothing but any curly braces is represented by block. For example, if block, for loop block, and main method block, and class block. So, we can say generally variable scope is within block, and this block is represented by curly braces, which may be of any control statement or method or class. So, this is how variable can be used. Now, how to define variable? So, general syntax for declaring variable is: first you have to provide type information, which type of variable you want to declare, and then you have to give variable name or identifier. You can also initialize variable while creating it. So, by providing equal to sign and proper value, you can also initialize variable. We take one example on screen. Here we have integer a is equal to 3, b is equal to 5 and c is equal to a plus b, and d is uninitialized. So, when this statement is encountered, compiler will reserve 32 bit for integer value and store 3 at this value. Similarly, for b it also reserves 32 bit value memory and stores 5 in that. Now, c is initialized to sum of a plus b. So, a plus b must be declared before using it. So, in Java all variable must be declared before they can be used. You cannot write down c is equal to a plus b first and then a and b. It must be declared first, and d is uninitialized and is generally store default value which is 0. So, this is all about how can we declare variable in Java and how can we assign value to variable. Now, in program we need to assign one variable value to another variable. So, when we assign one data type to another data type, Java provides 3 types of data type conversion. First is called widening conversion, which will automatically take place. Then we have narrowing conversion, that is needed to be explicitly done, and finally, we have another type of conversion which is known as a truncation. So, first we discuss widening conversion. Now, when you assign small data type to large data type, Java will automatically convert these small data type into large data type without any problem. So, this type of conversion is known as a widening conversion, but remember it should satisfy two conditions. First, the two type must be compatible, and second, the destination type should be larger than the source type. So, integer and floating point types are considered as a compatible with each other. The numeric types are not compatible with character or boolean, and character and boolean are not compatible with each other because they cannot accept value which is stored in one another, and this type of conversion is known as a widening conversion. Now, in this case we have not any issue because we are using compatible types and we are storing small data type value into large data type. Now, when you convert large data type into smaller data type, this kind of conversion is known as a narrowing conversion, and to create this type of conversion between two incompatible types, you must use a cast. Now, what is cast? A cast is simply an explicit type conversion. Now, we take one example. We have long data type A and integer data type B. Now, I want to store value of A into B. So, B may not be able to accept value because it may be outside the range of B also. So, in this case we have to explicitly specify that I want to take long value and convert it into integer value. So, general form of typecasting is that we have to specify target type in parenthesis and then value. So, this type of conversion is known as a narrowing conversion. The last type of conversion is truncation. Truncation means when you assign floating value to integer type, it is known as a truncation. Now, we take one example. For example, if value is 3.1 which is float and we want to assign it to integer, the resulting value will simply be 3 because integer cannot accept fraction and 0.21 will have been truncated. So, if the size of whole number component is too large to fit into the target integer type, then the value will be reduced modulo the target type's range. That means, Java will automatically try to convert these value into target type. If it cannot be accommodated, then it will use modulo the target type's range. That means, if I want to store integer value into short, then it will try to find modulo of and whatever result is get it stored in short data type. So, this is known as a truncation. Generally, when we write down expression in Java, expression may consist of variable, constant and operators. You might know the basic operator like plus, minus, multiply and division. So, suppose I write down one expression which consists of plus, minus and multiply or division, this is known as a expression. Now, in expression we can use multiple type of data type. So, Java will ultimately decide the type of expression based on the value used in expression. So, this kind of thing is known as a type promotion. Now, Java defines several type promotion rules that apply to expression, and they are: first, all byte and short values are promoted to integer. That means, if expression consists of 3 value byte, short and integer, it will be promoted to integer, and if one operand is long, then whole expression is promoted to long. But if there is a one float operand, the entire expression is promoted to float, and if any of the operand is double, the result is double. That means, double is the largest data type available in Java. So, double will override all the basic data type and float overrides rest of the data type and long override integer and short and byte. So, this is how this hierarchy works: byte to short, short to integer, integer to long, long to float and float to double. So, this kind of thing is known as a type promotion, which Java automatically applies in case of expression evaluation. So, we must know these type promotion rules, so that we can decide value of variable in which we want to store value of our expression. Now, we understand the concept of variable and type conversion and type promotion with two example in NetBeans. So, let us have look at these two program where we understand these two concepts. So, on screen you can see we have one class to demonstrate use of variable and conversion. So, here is a class variable that I have used in project, and these are 3 data types, which is short, integer and float, which is initialized to 1, 1000 and 12.3 respectively. Now, we can print value of variable using system.out.println. So, highlighted portion displays value of short, integer and float data type. Now, suppose I assign value integer to float, this is known as a widening conversion. So, I just comment these two and run this program. So, to run this program, I have to right click on this file and then select run file. So, here you can see that our output is short is 1, integer is 1000 and float is 1000. So, there is no problem in these automatic conversion or widening conversion. Now, suppose I am using narrowing conversion, that is converting integer to short, that means I am narrowing the range of integer to short. So, what will happen that we see it by running this program again. So, I again run this program. Now, you can see that our short is also assigned to 1000, but for these we have to explicitly tell Java that I want to convert these into short data type, and Now I commenting these two lines and uncomment third line. So here what will happen that 12.3 will be converted into 12 when storing into integer. So this is known as a truncation. So now let us run again this file and see what will be the output of our program is. So here you can see that in integer we have 12 only and float is 12.3. So this is how you can convert one data type into another and perform three types of conversion. Now we want to demonstrate how type promotion rule is applied. So for that we have one file called promotion.java. Here I use some value, different values like byte, character, short, integer, float and double. Now I want to use all these value in this expression, in which I multiply float by byte, divide integer by character and multiply double by short. So if I consider only f into b, the largest data type is float. So my expression is converted into float. In case of second, the largest data type is integer. So my ultimate result is integer, and in last we have double and short. So my ultimate value is of type double. But when I plus these two and minus third, we have three data types: float, integer and double. So ultimately my result will be double value, which is stored in double variable called result. Now we run this program and see what output we will get. So go to package, right click on this file and select run file. So on screen you can see that first is a converted to float value, second is converted to integer value and third is converted to double value, and from float, integer and double the result is converted into double value and it is 626.77. So this is how Java performs type promotion. In today's session we have learned data types, literal and variable, data type conversion and how data type promotion rule will apply. I hope you enjoy this session. Thank you and happy learning.
स्वाध्यायः परमं तपः।
स्वाध्याय टीवी